Hello, I'm Jessie. I'm a freshman in ICUE. My student number is S04411053. The title of the speech is The New Bionics That Let Us Run, Climb, and Dance. Looking deeply inside nature through the magnifying glass of science, designers extract principles, and materials that are forming the very basis of design methodology, from synthetic constructs that resemble biological materials to computational methods that emulate neural processes. Nature is driving design. Design is also driving nature. In realms of genetics, regenerative medicine, and synthetic biology, designers are growing novel technologies, not forcing or anticipated by nature. Bionics explore the interplay between biology and design. As you can see, my legs are bionic. Today, I will tell human stories of bionic integration, how electromechanics attach to the body and implanted inside the body are beginning to bridge the gap between disability and ability, between human limitation and human potential. Bionics has defined my physicality. In 1982, both of my legs were amputated due to tissue damage from frostbite incurred during a mountain climbing accident. At that time, I didn't view my body as broken. I reasoned that a human being can never be broken. Technology is broken. Technology is inadequate. This simple but powerful idea was a call to arms to advance technology for the elimination of my own disability and ultimately the disability of others. I began by developing specialized limbs that allow me to return to the vertical world of rock and ice climbing. I quickly realized that the artificial part of my body is malleable, able to take on any form, any function, a blank slate for which to create, perhaps structures that could extend beyond biological capability. I made my height adjustable. I could be as short as 5 feet or as tall as I would like. So when I was feeling bad about myself, insecure, I would drag my height up. But when I was feeling confident and safe, I would knock my height down a notch just to give the competition a chance. Narrow-edged feet allow me to climb steep rock fissures where the human foot cannot penetrate, and spike feet enable me to climb vertical ice walls without ever experiencing muscle leg fatigue. Through technological innovation, I returned to my sport, stronger and better. Technology had eliminated my disability and allowed me a new climbing process. As a young man, I imagined a future world where technology so advanced could rid the world of disability, a world in which neural implant would allow the visually impaired to see, a world in which the paralyzed could walk while body exoskeletons. Sadly, because of deficiencies in technology, this disability is rampant in the world. This gentleman is missing three limbs. As a testimony to current technology, he is out of the wheelchair, but we need to do a better job in bionics to allow one day full rehabilitation for a person with this level of injury. At the MIT Media Lab, we've established the Center for Extreme Bionics. The mission of the center is to put forth fundamental science and technological capability that will allow the regenerative repair of humans across a broad range of brain and body disabilities. Today I'm going to tell you how my legs function, how they work as a casting point for this center. Now I made sure to shave my legs last night because I knew I'll be showing them off. Bionics entails the of extreme interfaces. There's three extreme interfaces in my bionic limbs. Mechanical, how my limbs are attached to my biological body. Dynamic, how they move like flesh and bone. And electrical, how they communicate with my nervous system. I will begin with mechanical interface. In the area of design, we still do not understand how to attach devices to the body mechanically. It's extraordinary to me that in this day and age, one of the most mature, oldest technologies in the human timeline, the shoe, still give us blisters. How can this be? We have no idea how to attach things to our bodies. This is the beautifully lyrical design work of Professor Neri Osman at the MIT Media Lab, showing specially varying exoskeletal impedances, shown here by color variation in this 3D printed model. Imagine a future where clothing is stiff and soft where you need it, when you need it for optimal support and flexibility without ever causing discomfort. My bionic limbs are attached to my biological body while synthetic skins with stiffness variations that mirror my underlying tissue biomechanics. To achieve the mirroring, we first develop a mathematical model of my biological limb. To the end, we use imaging tools such as MRI to look inside my body to figure out the geometries and locations of various tissues. We also took robotic tools. Here's a 14 actuator circle that goes around the biological limb. The actuators come in, find the surface of the limb, measure its uploaded shape, and then they push on the tissues to measure tissue compliances at each anatomic point. We combine this imaging and robotic data to build a mathematical description of my biological limb. Shown on the left, you see a bunch of points on nodes. At each node, there's a color that represents tissue compliance. We then do a mathematical transformation to the design of the synthetic skin, shown on the right, and we've discovered abnormality is where the body is stiff, the synthetic skin should be soft. Where the body is soft, the synthetic skin is stiff. And this mirroring occurs across all tissue compliances. With this framework, we've produced bionic limbs that are the most comfortable limbs I've ever worn. Clearly, in the future, our clothing, our shoes, our braces, our prosthetics will no longer be designed and manufactured using artisan strategies, but rather data-driven quantitative frameworks. In the future, our shoes will no longer give us blisters. Embedding sensing and smart materials into the synthetic skins. This is a material developed by SRI International California. Under electrostatic effect, it changes stiffness. So under the zero voltage, the material is compliant. It's floppy like paper. Then the buttons push. A voltage is applied, and it becomes stiff as a board. This material into the synthetic skin that attaches my bionic limb to my biological body. When I walk here, it's no voltage. My interface is soft and compliant. The buttons push. Voltage is applied, and its stiffness offering me a greater maneuverability over the bionic limb. We're also building exoskeletons. This exoskeleton becomes stiff and soft in just the right areas of the running cycle to protect the biological joint from high impact and degradation. In the future, we will all be wearing exoskeletons in common activities, such as running. Next, dynamic interface. How do my bionic limbs move like flesh and bone. In my MRT lab, we study how humans with normal physiologists stand, walk and run. What are the muscles doing, and how are they controlled by the spinal cord? This basic science motivated what we built. We're building bionic ankles, knees, and hips. We're building body parts from the ground up. The bionic limbs that I'm wearing are called biops. They have been fitted to nearly 1,000 patients, 400 of which have been wounded US soldiers. How does it work? A hair strike under computer control. The system controls stiffness to attenuate the shock of the limb hitting the ground. Then amidst the bionic limbs output high torques and powers to lift the person into the walking stride, comparable to how muscle works in the calf region. This bionic propulsion is very important clinically to patients. So on the left, you see the bionic device worn by a lady. On the right, a passive device worn by the same lady that fails to emulate normal muscle function, enabling her to do something everyone should be able to do: go up and down their steps at home. Bionics also allows for extraordinary athletic feats. Here's a gentleman running up a rocky pathway. This is Steve Martin, not the comedian who lost his legs in a bomb blast in. We're also building using these same principles. They wrap around the biological limb. This gentleman doesn't have any leg condition, any disability. He has a normal physiology. So these exoskeletons are applying muscle like torques and powers, so that his own muscle needs not apply those torques and powers. This is the first exoskeleton in history that actually augment human walking. It significantly reduces. It's so profound in its augmentation that when a normal, healthy person wears the device for 14 minutes and then take it off, their own biological legs feel ridiculously heavy and awkward. We're beginning the age in which machines attached to our bodies will make us stronger and faster and more efficient. Moving on electrical interface. How do my bionic limbs communicate with my nervous system? Across my residual limbs are electrodes that measure the electrical pulse of my muscles. Let's communicate it to the bionic limbs. So when I think about moving my phantom limb, the robot tracks those movement desires. This diagram shows fundamentally how the bionic limbs is controlled. So we model a missing biological limb, and we've discover that reflexes occurred, how the reflexes of the spinal cord are controlling the muscles, and their capability is embedded in the chips of the bionic limb. What we have done then is we modulate the sensitivity of the reflex, the model spinal reflex with the neural signal. So when I relax my muscles in my residual limb, I get very little torque and power, but the more I fire my muscles, the more torque I get, and I can even run. And that was the first demonstration of a running gait under neural command. Feels great. We want to go a step further. We want to actually close the loop between the human and the bionic external lip. We're doing experiment where we were growing nerves, transect nerves through channels or micro channel arrays. On the other side of the channel, the nerve then attaches to cells, skin cells and muscle cells. In the motor channels, we can sense how the person wishes to move. They can be sent out wirelessly to the bionic lip. Then sensory information on the bionic limbs can be converted to stimulations in sensory channels. So when this is fully developed and for human use, persons like myself will not only have synthetic limbs that move like flesh and bone, but actually feels like flesh and bone. This video shows these are related shortly after being fitted with two bionic limbs. Indeed, bionics is making a profound difference in people's lives. Next week, I'm visiting the Center of Medicare and Medical Services, and I'm going to try to convince CMS to grant appropriate code language and pricing, so this technology can be made available to the patients and that need it. It's not well appreciated, but over half of the world's population suffers from some form of cognitive, emotional, sensory, or motor condition, and because of poor technology, too often conditions result in disability and poor quality of life. Basic levels of physiological function should be a part of our human rights. Every person should have the right to live life without disability if they so choose. The right to live life without severe depression. The right to see a loved one in the case of seeing impaired, or the right to walk or to dance in the case of limb paralysis or limb amputation. As a society, we can achieve these human rights if we accept proposition that humans are not disabled. A person can never be broken. Our built environment, our technologies are broken and disabled. We, the people, need not accept our limitations, but can transcend disability through technological innovation. Indeed, through fundamental advances in bionics in this century, we will set the technological foundation for an enhanced human experience, and we will end disability. I would like to finish up with one more story, a beautiful story, the story of Adrian Haslett Davis. Adrian lost her left leg in the Boston terrorist. I met Adrian when this photo was taken at a Spalding Rehabilitation Hospital. Adrian is a dancer, a ballroom dancer. Adrian breathes and lives dance. It is her expression. It is her art form. Naturally, when she lost her limb in the Boston terrorist attack, she wanted to return to the dance floor. After meeting her and driving home in my car, I thought, I'm an MIT professor. I have resources. Let's build her a bionic limb to enable her to go back to her life of dance. I brought in MIT scientists with expertise in prosthetic rope learning and biomechanics, and over a 200-day research period, we studied dance. We brought in dancers with biological limbs, and we studied how they move, what forces they apply on the dance floor. And we took those data and we put forth fundamental principles of dance, reflexive dance capability, and we enable their intelligence into the bionic limb. Bionic is not only about making people stronger and faster. Our expression, our humanity can be embedded into electromechanics. It was 3.5 seconds between the bomb blast in the Boston terrorist attack. In 3.5 seconds, the criminals and cowards took Adrian off the dance floor. In 200 days, we put her back. We will not be intimidated, brought down, dissemination, conquered, or stopped by acts of violence. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce Adrian Haslett Davis, her first performance since the attack. She's dancing with Christian Leitner. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the research team, Alec Ross and Nathan Vilograd-Karski. Alec and Nathan.